I noticed that was off. Jeez.
9? I can't do that.
You gotta come up and help me lift it off the wall.
No. You've got peeps around. There's one right there.
Yeah, he's too short.
He got a ladder.
He can't reach it. Yeah.
Call this meeting to order of the regular City Council meeting, Hawarden, Iowa, September 25th, 2024. It's at 5:30. We'll start out with item 1A, approval of the September 11th, 2024 regular council meeting minutes. Is there a motion?
A motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. 1B, approval of September 25, 2024 claims for payment. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the September 25th claims for payment.
In a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of approving the September 25th, 2024 claims for payment, please say aye.
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 Opposed?
No.
Passes 4-1. At this time, we've got open business from the community. Do we have anyone that would like to speak tonight? Seeing none, we'll move on to the mayor's report. We had the West Sioux second grade classes come over and on Monday to learn about local government. They met with Chief DePriest, Tracy and the gals in the front office, and myself here in the council chambers. It was a good experience, I think, for everyone. And this is something that they do every year. So I hope they keep it on up. And that's all I have. Staff reports, Gary.
I just want to mention that if you all found, hopefully, the papers I put in front of you, in addition to the other items, dealing with debt service spreadsheet, it shows each of our debts, the future payment schedules, and also cumulative annual debt service amounts. There's also a summary of general fund expenditures for your review, and the first 2 months of our budget report and also treasurer's report, as we continue to look at ways to mitigate expenses, costs, and given the position that we're in, I just thought it would be helpful if you guys had a chance to review those and we could maybe have further discussion at some point. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Tracy.
I have nothing to report.
Travis.
Staff continues to work on the utilities for a couple new homes being built and the apartments. I've been working with FEMA Public Assistance for the city-related damages. We have an inspection October 3rd, site visit. I've also been working with utility engineers on the temporary FEMA housing site. Citywide cleanup will be October 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Okay, thank you. Chief DePriest.
We had a new officer start with the department on Monday. They're currently going through their field training, which I anticipate will last the next 2 to 4 weeks.
Okay, thank you. Carol.
We are continuing to work on the housing. We did have some additional success with another grant through Iowa Economic Development Authority. I'll be going through the steps of that here pretty quick. That should add another $400,000 for housing. We did get the $650,000 awarded to DeRocher Builders, so hopefully we'll get their project started. I'm going to have to work with some zoning issues and some different issues, but it will add another $1.5 million to our, I guess, housing plan, which is all grant money, which is fantastic. We're working more with the Iowa Economic Development Authority on trying to figure out where we can get additional houses on the $50,000 grant. I did fill out 2 more applications. We were awarded another one for a family, and really a great situation for her, to get her the $50,000 to help her clean up her place as well. Everybody's been really supportive on the state of Iowa. One of the requests I've had is for more data. I'm getting a big push from the area to get our numbers in. Rock Valley, I work very closely with Dave Miller, and just trying to keep the numbers up there where they belong, to keep us in the eyeglass, I guess. So that's been actually ultra successful, which I'm very happy about. Other than that, just continue to work toward what's coming up in the fall and the winter. We have some events here that happen in town, trying to get the downtown businesses in a little better position. Working with the revolving loan fund, I only have $15,000 left of my current award of $140,000, so I'm going to go ahead and write another application so we can get some more money.
Okay, thank you, Carol. And Jenny?
Nothing, thank you.
Okay. This time we'll move into 2C council comments. I'll open it up to any council members that wish to make a comment.
I do. There have been people in the community that are upset about comments that were made at the beginning of the last council meeting. I was not in attendance, but I feel I need to address it. Honestly, saying happy 9/11 is insensitive to the day that marks the darkest moment in modern history, and to the thousands of people that lost their lives in the horrific act of terrorism, and the countless service members' lives that were lost in the aftermath. It is a day of mourning and reflection for families who lost loved ones, first responders who sacrificed everything, and a nation who is deeply impacted. Making light of the pain diminishes the gravity of what happened and disrespects the memory of those who died. It is important to be mindful and respectful to those for those who this day means so much to them. So.
Okay. Anyone else? Then we'll move on to other agenda items. Number 3 is approval of the annual utility and ambulance write-offs.
Tracy, you want to talk about those? They're basically, every year we have to approve all the write-offs that we have for our utilities and our ambulance. And if you see, they fluctuate from year to year, but fairly consistent with other years. Nothing unusual, nothing strange that I think we need to bring up. But again, they tend to run in that same area every year. So, but we do require the council to approve those each year. So.
And just because they're written off doesn't mean we never try to collect them.
We continue to,
Yeah.
we continue to work to collect them.
I just want people to understand that we're written off stuff.
Anything else?
I make a motion to approve the annual utility and ambulance write-offs.
And a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor of approving the annual utility and ambulance write-offs, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-1. Number 4, consideration of city attorney attending most council meetings remotely.
Well, I had a discussion with a couple of council, and as we've talked, looking at ways to cut expenses and reduce costs. I did reach out to Jenny and visited with her regarding her attending our meetings remotely, unless we have something that's necessary that she attend the meeting for. And she was, I think, fine with that, if I'm not maybe overjoyed. She hates to drive in the wintertime, I know that. So.
I hate to drive, period.
She does.
I don't really. I don't care, in all honesty, whether I drive or whether I sit at my desk. I respect the council's position, whatever that may be. It makes sense from a fiscal standpoint. Majority of things can be done remotely. So, not offended, don't have a preference. I think it makes sense. There may be times where it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I think we should try it and see what happens.
Yep, I would agree. I don't know, I mean, I've called in before, so I think I
Yeah.
would just call in and do things that way.
You need a motion? So moved.
Okay. We do have a motion. And a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Passes 4-1. Moving on. Discussion of flood-related items.
You want to talk about the cleanup, Travis?
Sorry. Cleanup, we're winding down. We're going to tear down the park shelter end of this week, early next week. Next week will be the last drive through town. There's a few piles. We'll get those all cleaned up. The dumpster will be available till the 6th. Then that'll be gone. So, yeah, cleanup, we're right on schedule. So.
Public assistance.
And we continue to work on public assistance with the city. We have meetings every 2 weeks, every other week, and they're very slow, slow in progressing, but they are progressing. They are coming here on October 3rd with an inspection team to inspect all of our damaged areas and all of our damaged claims. And so we'll be spending the day here with several groups of FEMA folks doing inspections on that day.
What, do they think we're lying?
They have to do it.
Yeah.
They come out with a tape measure.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
There'll be, looks like there's going to be about 10 or 12 of them out here looking
Yeah,
at
there'll be quite a
our,
few.
our stuff, so, that day.
Have they been out?
No, they haven't been out yet. I was told probably a few weeks out, but they asked me which sites that I want them to inspect, and it's mainly the bigger projects. The smaller stuff we're already getting back together anyway. So.
Like the capital projects. and
Yeah,
stuff.
like the shelter house at Sandy Hollow and the BB gun and archery range and those kind of things.
Bigger.
Yeah. The big hole in the south road.
I know we got
So
work.
we have to look at that too for the electric.
Yeah. So, anyway, it'll be an interesting time next week. So if anybody wants to join us, they can, welcome to join us for inspections. So.
Did you say it was October 16th?
I'm sorry?
3rd.
Oh, October 3rd is what?
October 3rd, yeah. All day. Starting at 10. You want to give an update on the donations committee and what you're...
Actually, checks are going out to the first group of residential applicants. And right now, we're accepting applications from residents also till September 30th. And also from businesses, churches, landlords, and nonprofits until September 30th. So please fill out the applications.
And do you know when the selections will be made and people will start receiving?
We'll have a meeting right after September 30th.
So it'll be early October?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
FEMA trailers, our focus was on the Avenue D and 23rd Street for most of the time. We had selected 2 sites, or FEMA had selected 2 sites. We didn't. And up until about a week ago, it was still focused on Avenue D. But then they did some soil borings, and the SHPO office didn't like what they found in the soil borings. So therefore, they were going to have to come back, and it was probably going to delay the project at least 30 days, if not 60 days. So they've shifted now to 16th Street is where they want to go with the FEMA trailers, which is up by Colin Wiggins. I did put a map up on the television for your viewing. The benefit for the city in doing that is that they're putting a street in that will allow us to develop that area and use the street. They pay for all the costs. The cost of this thing is $1.8 million, and then they will move the temporary trailers in. They can be there until December of next year, and then it all has to be torn out. Everything has to be torn out that we want torn out. So the street can remain. Some of the utilities can remain if they're in the right locations, and but it does give us a head start on developing that area. By locating the street where we've located it, it will allow us to develop residential housing on both sides of the street. So there will be lots to be developed on both sides. So it'll save us the cost of putting in a street, which is probably a couple $100,000, I'm guessing, or more.
Nice.
Time to get done. So there's some benefit to the city. We had a planning and zoning meeting today, and they recommended going ahead with it. We have a Board of Adjustment meeting next Monday. Then they're looking at the variance to request mobile homes there for a temporary use, and so.
You said December of next year is how long they can stay?
They can sit till December of next year.
2025, okay.
Yeah, Yeah, it's actually 18 months from the presidential declaration, which was June 24th.
Okay.
So, so December 24th of next year.
Okay.
They have to, that's it.
Are they looking at 10? It looks like 10 spots.
Yeah. The other thing I would encourage you to do or to be thinking about, and we will as well, but it would really be nice if between now and December of next year we can develop a mobile home park someplace so that if people want to purchase these, they can relocate those to a mobile home park. We really don't have a location that can happen. And so we should be, maybe working with some developers, or working with someone or thinking through where one might be able to be located that would be palatable with the neighbors and
would be taken care of.
Not be in a floodplain and all those things. So that's something I think the city should focus on as well, so that when these do have to be moved out, because people do have the opportunity to buy these, and so if they can buy them and and they want to continue living in them in Hawarden, they have a place to go. So something to think about. I don't know if you have any other questions on that at all.
So FEMA determines who can get a trailer. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And they'll do all of the contacting of people, and it's kind of out of our hands.
Yes, they've contacted most people that I think at least 2 times, I believe. They currently have 8 filled. So they're putting the sites in for 10, but they currently have 8 filled. So
How long will it take them to develop that?
35 days.
They hope to have everybody in by Thanksgiving.
A street and everything?
They start
everything.
35 days. They'll do it all.
And they've, it's a contractor that they've done many of these sites, so they say it can be done.
And they assess stormwater drainage and all that jazz?
Yep, it's all, engineered. I've been working with the engineers on utilities, so.
Yeah, we had a meeting yesterday afternoon with the engineer. So
Cannot imagine that.
We will have to approve the lease, probably the next council meeting.
and we have a lease in Jenny's hands that will have to come before the council,
Okay.
probably at the next meeting. Hopefully, we don't have a special meeting. They were aware of the timeline, so I think it'll be okay.
Is it like a FEMA lease to the city, you mean? Or
It is the most
Because it's city-owned ground.
generic lease, especially coming from the government.
Really?
I was very surprised.
Maybe
No. Yeah, very basic. I mean, they're going to be in charge of taking care of everything. It's not going to be of any
Okay.
cost to the city.
And then when the 18 months is up, it goes back to the city?
Correct.
Okay.
So,
Are we able to keep the campers until the trailers are here? The campers
The ones at Oak Grove?
at Oak Grove, yeah.
That's a state funded, I haven't, not sure.
To my understanding, those people living in them now have an first option to buy them if they want them at the end too, just like these. And they did lease out there as well, so it's probably really similar, I would think. So in our contract, I know they had the ability to extend it 6 months if they needed to, but I don't know on this one.
we might want to check into that so that they're not losing their camper before they can get into a trailer.
In the housing buyout, we did include 10 houses on our PA funding. We sent in a notice of interest earlier. We had to do that. Whether we do it or not was irrelevant. We had to at least sign up for notice of interest. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do that. So, it gives us the opportunity to, if we choose to. We're having a meeting next Tuesday, I believe.
Yep, October 2nd.
A Zoom meeting with FEMA to discuss more of what it entails to get into the housing buyout program and how it impacts the city, and so we'll have more information hopefully after that Zoom call. But at this point, we know about as much as you guys, I think, just enough to be dangerous. But we just know there's some definitely some things we need to be aware of before we get into the program, because it creates a long-term liability for the city.
Empty,
without a doubt.
empty lots here and there.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So, anyway, we'll have more information hopefully after that meeting. So, I think that's all I have, unless you guys have questions about anything.
Well, thank you for all your work, Gary and Travis and anyone else that's been working on this. I know it's very time-consuming and sometimes very frustrating, but we appreciate it very much. At this time, we are on our agenda going into closed session. We need a motion to go into closed session.
I make a motion to go into closed session under Iowa Code Section 21.51C.
In a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we'll have a roll call vote on this. Harvey? Anderson?
Aye.
Clucky?
Aye.
Allen?
Aye.
Warner?
Aye.
Motion passes. We will be going into closed session at this time.